The house was too quiet. No laughter, no footsteps, not even the faint hum of the television my kids usually left running. Only the folded note on the kitchen counter, written on my wife's lawyer's stationery. She'd taken the kids, filed a restraining order. The words bled through my eyes like ink dissolving in water, unreadable yet unforgettable. I stood there, still in uniform, boots dusted with desert sand, hands trembling not from fear but from restraint. I'd fought men who wanted me dead, and I didn't flinch. Yet one piece of paper made my chest feel like it had been carved open with a dull blade. I made one call. 12 hours later, her lawyer's message lit up my phone. "Please, call it off. She'll drop everything. What did you do?" I didn't answer, because even I wasn't sure what I had just unleashed. She had planned it carefully. The timing wasn't random, it never is. She filed while I was still on foreign soil, where communication was patchy, where I couldn't defend myself. She thought distance would be her ally. It almost worked. But distance had taught me something else. Patience. A soldier's silence, a predator's stillness. I imagined her, rehearsing the story for her lawyer, for the judge, for the neighbors who would whisper about the abused wife and violent soldier. Lies layered with precision, waiting to be believed. She underestimated me. The note wasn't betrayal alone, it was performance. A carefully staged act meant to paint me as a monster while she vanished into the arms of someone else. I didn't need proof yet. My instincts were enough. She had always been restless. Restless people don't stay faithful, they build exits, and she had built hers. I didn't storm her door, didn't scream, didn't beg. Instead, I moved as I was trained. Quiet reconnaissance. Phone records, bank transactions, the glow of her online activity. Patterns emerged. Late-night calls to a number saved under a false name. Withdrawals timed around her yoga classes. Hotel receipts buried in statements she thought I'd never see. Every breadcrumb I followed confirmed what I already knew. The restraining order wasn't protection. It was cover. A shield for her infidelity. A preemptive strike to keep me silent while she rewrote our marriage into a tragedy with herself as the victim. Externally, I stayed calm. My neighbors saw me mowing the lawn. The cashier saw me buying milk. On the surface, I was steady. But underneath, my silence was a knife pressed against her throat, one she didn't even know was there. The truth arrived in a single folder. Photos, records, names. Her lover wasn't a stranger. He was someone I once called a brother, a man who toasted my deployment with a smile while planning his entry into my home. I didn't scream. I didn't even flinch. That night, I asked her to meet. She arrived with defiance in her eyes, ready to play the victim. I slid the folder across the table. Her face cracked. Not all at once. First a twitch in the corner of her mouth, then a tremor in her hands. Her eyes darted over the evidence, hunting for escape, but there was none. "I can explain," she whispered. I leaned back, silent. And that silence was louder than any accusation. Her lawyer had begged me to call it off. He didn't know I already had. The restraining order, the custody papers, the accusations, every weapon she forged against me turned to ash the moment truth surfaced. She couldn't drop it fast enough, couldn't erase her lies quickly enough. I let her think she'd succeeded, that she'd crawled out from under the avalanche, that I was finished. Then I made sure her parents knew, her friends. The very community she wanted to paint me as a monster before, now they watched her burn under the spotlight she had lit herself. She wasn't a victim anymore. She was a cautionary tale. And I didn't raise my voice once. I didn't win her back. I didn't want to. What I reclaimed was something sharper, colder. The knowledge that truth, once unearthed, destroys everything in its path. She had tried to erase me, rewrite me as a villain, but in the end, Her story collapsed under its own weight. I stood over the ruins, calm, detached, not triumphant, just certain. I had lost a wife, but I had also lost an illusion, and that was liberation. The last thing I told her wasn't anger, wasn't a threat. It was simple, quiet, final. You don't exist to me anymore.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.